If you think the visuals matter more than audio, then you are completely wrong. And if you don't believe me, go and watch any 2 hour action film with it on mute and tell me that you got through the entire thing, let alone enjoyed it. I've helped generate over 4 million views on YouTube, and in this video I'm going to go over why creators wrongly focus on visual effects, why this becomes a problem, and what you can start doing differently to improve your retention. So first off, why do creators focus on visual effects in the first place? Well, for one, they see all the competitors doing it. So if you aren't trying to constantly better the last animation you did, you almost feel like you're falling behind on something. The YouTube space has become less about storytelling and more about who can have the fanciest looking captions, even though no one has actually thought as to why they're doing it in the first place. Second, they think that it boosts retention by giving the viewer something more exciting to look at. And this is exactly why you'll see creators cutting way too fast to the point where you can't even make out what's going on the screen, because they're just trying to come up with this idea that more visual stimulation equals better. And finally, they believe that this is the new way of editing. That if you aren't keeping up with the constant dopamine rushes that they're getting off their Instagram reels, TikTok, in the day and age where there's TikTok kids, memes, even brain rot nowadays, even though what the hell even is that? But it's like, these creators now think that they need to keep up with this level of dopamine hits in order to make a compelling video. So then, why are these beliefs a problem? Well, when you see your favourite creators doing heavy visual effects scenes, how often are they really doing it if you actually look? Of course you have creators like MrBeast who've got a whole production team behind it, and they have the resources to do that. But in terms of yourself, you probably have a small team of editors or a solo editor who just hasn't got the same amount of resources. You need to actually focus on the 20% of the editing that gets 80% of the results in terms of retention. Because by putting most of your resources in the visual effects jar, then you're leaving the sound design jar and the pacing jar much emptier, which are the actual most important parts of the edit. How do you think that a film up to 3 hours long can hold your attention with no motion graphics or animations whatsoever? It's because it really isn't that important. And I'm speaking in YouTube terms as well. It's not just for films. The problem with thinking that visual effects alone is what boosts retention, you end up missing the key part of what actually does, and that's telling a better story. When you've added an animation for its own sake, you are literally wasting the viewer's time and your own time by putting the effort into something that really doesn't help. All you're really doing is allowing the viewer to say, "Ooh, look, a shiny object. Oh wait, what's this guy on about again?" It's like you've just detracted their attention for no reason. This is why, as a creator, your video ends up feeling like it hasn't really got a soul, because you've just thrown in these things thinking more is better and more is going to produce more retention, when really that isn't the case. Take, for example, a creator who's been making a video on the most dangerous gym. I know a lot of people have been making videos on the Diamond Gym recently, so I'll use that as a reference. But when you start adding captions for its own sake, even though the audio is clearly clear enough in the gym, and then you start adding motion graphics to explain things that have already been said in terms of the exercises they're doing, then you're really just adding visual clutter for no reason. I mean, why do that? So now that we've covered the negative beliefs that creators hold about visual effects and why this is holding them back, how do you actually start working on the right things? Well, once you've got the pacing dialed, which is the main part of the edit, the next most important thing to start on is the sound design. Because with the sound design, you can have a music track that amplifies the tension or reduces the tension, depending on what you need at the time of the edit. So instead of diving straight into the animations or VFX side of things when doing the edit, start with the sound design and music track first, and set that in place, because that creates a clear hierarchy of what is actually most important. Now, what makes an actual music track fit the scene? Well, realistically, it does just come down to a feeling. And this is a feeling you can gain an intuition of as you've gone through and watched high quality films, documentaries, even YouTube videos. It's just something that you pick up on over time. And what you need to do is, on whatever non-copyright music track website you're going on, you need to scroll through all the music tracks until you get to the one where you think this is perfect and it fits right here. And what you can do is you play the audio of your video that you're editing as you're going through the music tracks. So this just allows you to gauge sort of in real time what it would actually sound like together. Obviously, when you edit the music in with the video, you will time it a little bit different, but I found that this is a really good way to get 90% there in terms of what you're looking for. And once you learn to hear things the way that world-class sound designers do, then you'll start to know what works. Then when it comes down to the sound effects, this is really something that just complements the music and also complements the visuals. So, say now someone's been slapped in the face in a video for some reason. I don't know why. But you don't necessarily need to make it sound realistic. What you want to do is make it most impactful with the sound effect that you use. So it does not have to be a human slap. It could be anything. You could go through any website and find, a towel hitting a wall, or it could be anything like that. As long as it feels to you that it has the most impact it can, then that's a good choice in sound effects. Now, if you'd like to work with me, I have space for one more creator left, so if you're interested, just drop me an email.